Life can be a hassle, so when it comes to everyday annoyances and problems, you need a way around them as quickly as possible. Fortunately, you can save yourself a lot of time, energy, and money by simply taking advantage of the ingenuity of whatever geniuses came up with these amazing life hacks. There's very little time, money, or assembly required, but they're guaranteed to make your life a little easier. It's an annoying fact of life that drains get clogged from time to time. We tend to take them for granted, shoving everything from food to hair down them. Some people, especially those with pets, are wary of using harsh chemical drain openers. But you don't have to. Simply pour half a cup of baking soda into the drain, followed by half a cup of vinegar. Anyone who has ever taken a science class knows what will happen. But once the bubbly reaction has stopped, the mixture will open up the drain naturally and quickly. Most of us wouldn't know what to do without our microwaves, but as we all know, they're far from perfect. Cold leftovers tend to heat unevenly, especially in the middle, meaning we have to remove them periodically to stir them around. It can be a pain, but the solution to this problem is blindingly simple. Just arrange your leftovers in a circle on the plate, leaving an empty space in the middle. This is a cold spot since microwaves heat food from the outside in, but if you leave the cold spot empty, your plate will heat much more evenly. There doesn't seem to be an easy solution to resealing bags of food, like chips or bagged cereal. Resealable bags often tear or don't work right, and chip clips can still let some air in. But if you often buy 2-liter bottles of soda, keeping bagged food fresh is a snap. You'll want to cut off the top portion of the bottle and remove the cap, but save it. Bunch up the mouth of the bag and feed it through from the bottom. Once the bottle top is in place, open the mouth of the bag back up and fold it over. Then screw on the cap. You now have an airtight, spill-proof seal, and you can throw away all those chip clips. Unless you have friends who are expecting or plan on immediately having another baby, there are few options when your child outgrows the crib other than to throw it out. Unless, of course, you're thinking outside the box, like the inventor of this hack. The sides of cribs are easily removed, so just remove one side in the mattress. If desired, you can spruce it up with a fresh coat of paint and some decoration, and you now have a perfect desk for your toddler to draw, color, and create. As an added bonus, the new desk will look absolutely charming. Those of us who love to cook Italian food all share a common complaint. Cherry tomatoes deliver a much different, slightly sweeter flavor than regular tomatoes, and they're indispensable in Italian cuisine. But it seems like every recipe calls for them to be sliced in half, which of course can be a major pain. But it doesn't have to be. In fact, you may kick yourself for not thinking of this hack. Just put your cherry tomatoes on a plate in a single layer, then place another plate on top of them upside down. Put a little pressure on the top plate and use a large knife to slice through the space between the plates. And voila, perfectly sliced cherry tomatoes every time. Painting your interior walls can be a lot of fun, but it can also be extremely messy. Even if you lay down tarp or plastic to protect your carpet, wiping excess paint on the rim of the can can cause the can to get gunky, and somebody will inevitably set it down in the wrong place. But you can nip this accident waiting to happen in the bud with a simple rubber band. Just stretch it all the way around the can so that a strip of rubber band is across the opening of the can. You can wipe your excess paint off on it instead of the rim, and all of that paint will go back in the can where it belongs. Nobody likes stinky shoes, but we all have to deal with them. Commercial odor eaters are effective, but can get expensive. But if you happen to be a tea drinker, you can deodorize your shoes in a much thriftier fashion, and just as effectively. That's because tea bags actually absorb odors. Placing one in each shoe and allowing it to sit there overnight will have them fresh and odor-free in the morning. Just remember to throw those tea bags away and use a fresh one for your morning cup. Wrinkled clothes are a common problem, but many of us, especially apartment dwellers, don't have space for an ironing board. You might iron your clothes on the bed or the floor and get poor results every time. But with a little simple hacking, this no longer has to be the case. Simply cut a portion of an old quilt to fit the top of your dryer, then glue magnets to each corner. You've instantly converted your dryer into a reliable ironing board that won't take up any extra space, and your wrinkle-free clothes will thank you for keeping them off the floor. iPhones have pretty great speakers, but sometimes you want to be able to fill up a whole room with sound, and we can't all afford Bluetooth speakers. This hack can fix that, and while it may be a little silly looking, you'll have to admit it's pretty clever. Just cut a slot the size of your phone's width into an empty toilet paper roll. You can insert 4 push pins into the bottom of the roll to keep it stable. Then slide the bottom of the phone into the slot. You'll be amazed at how much the toilet paper roll will amplify the sound. No matter how big the room, you'll be able to hear your tunes loud and clear. A day at the beach can turn into a pain in the neck if we don't keep a close enough eye on our valuables. Beachgoers can be easy pickings for thieves on the lookout for wallets, phones, and keys. But you can make sure they look right past yours. Just get a large, cheap bottle of suntan lotion, making sure it's the kind with a wide lid that can be easily removed. Empty it out, wash it, and now you have a perfect incognito storage for your valuables that thieves won't even look at twice. Your stuff will be safely hidden in plain sight, and you'll have peace of mind during your fun in the sun. Keeping your drinking glasses from getting broken during a move is almost impossible without buying a bunch of expensive packing materials. That's the common logic anyway. But a little outside-the-box thinking will keep you from picking your intact glasses out from a box full of broken shards. Simply put each glass inside one of your socks. Even some pretty intense jostling won't cause them to break. And as an extra bonus, you won't have to pack your socks separately. This is one of those hacks that seems so simple, it's a wonder everybody doesn't do it already. It's incredibly frustrating to desperately need some AA batteries, only to find that AAA are all you have. You can't always run to the store, especially if you're on a camping trip or outing. But if you're lucky enough to have a little aluminum foil on hand, it's no problem. If you wad up balls of foil and use them to fill the gap between the spring and the battery's flat end, the connection will be made, and the batteries will power your device normally. They won't last quite as long as AA's, but in a pinch, it's nice to know that you can bend AAA batteries to your will. Getting a new key onto your keyring can be a finger-shredding, nerve-wracking experience. It'd be a lot easier if there were some tool that you could use to pry the keyring apart, instead of trying to force the key in while wreaking havoc on your fingertips and nails. Fortunately, there is just such a tool, and you probably have one laying around. Staple removers are just as effective at doing this as they are at removing staples, and you'll probably need to replace or remove a key a lot more often than you'll have to separate stapled documents. In fact, if they were marketed as keyring helpers, they'd probably sell like hotcakes. Microwave popcorn might be the greatest invention since, well, the microwave. It's so much faster, easier, and more convenient than using a popcorn maker that we're even willing to overlook the handful of unpopped kernels that always seem to be left at the bottom of the bag. Better than that burnt popcorn, but you can easily have it both ways. When you open the bag, just open it partially at first. Leave a slit large enough for the kernels to fall through, but not for popped kernels. Shake gently until all the kernels are gone, and enjoy your microwave popcorn with no threat to your teeth. Many white wines are best served chilled, but many of us simply don't think to put wine in the refrigerator, or don't have the space. With a little thinking ahead, this doesn't have to be an issue. Just plan for the future and throw a bunch of grapes in the freezer inside a Ziploc bag. The next time you want a cold glass but only have a warm bottle, use the grapes instead of ice cubes to chill your wine quickly. They won't water the wine down or detract from its flavor, and you might even want to try popping them in your mouth once they're all thawed out. Electronics packaging is one of the bigger hassles of the modern age. Practically all devices come packaged in plastic that's nearly impossible to get open using anything short of a hacksaw. It's almost as if it's made out of metal. Fortunately, you have a handy device in your home that's capable of handling that. Using a regular handheld can opener makes removing your device simpler than you ever thought possible. Just cut off all four edges of the packaging, pull the halves apart, and be thankful you never have to try to use keys or a knife again. Cleaning your gutters is not only a hassle, it can be downright dangerous. However, if you have a leaf blower, you can cut way back on the hassle and remove the danger from the equation completely with only a few dollars. All you'll need is several lengths of PVC pipe, a PVC U-bend, and some duct tape. Tape the lengths of pipe together and the U-bend to one end, and you'll have a tool that can fit over your blower. A temporary strip of duct tape may be needed to create a seal. You can blow all the leaves and debris out of your gutters from the comfort and safety of the ground, and in far less time than the normal method. Here's a simple hack that could really come in handy if you have an older phone, or one with a short battery life. For as quickly as some phones can die, it often seems like they take forever to charge. But before you put your phone on the charger, try changing one simple setting. Phones continue to use power even when they charge, but putting your phone in airplane mode greatly decreases its power usage. Do this before charging, and you'll find that your phone is at full power in no time flat. Nothing is worse than a warm soda or beer, especially when you have a craving for a cold one. Putting them in the fridge takes forever, but putting them in the freezer is risky. You've got to leave them in there for a while to chill them, but leave them too long and you have an explosive frozen mess waiting to happen. The answer is simple. Just wrap a wet paper towel around your bottled or canned beverage before putting it in the freezer, and you'll only have to wait 10 or 15 minutes. Water conducts away heat much more quickly than air, so it cuts the time needed to chill a drink by more than half. A short enough time that you won't forget about it and have to deal with that mess. We've all had to hammer in a nail for whatever reason, and we've all banged our fingers doing it. You can try as hard as you can to avoid it, but this only seems to make it more likely to happen. Once you know this hack, it'll never happen again, but you may slap yourself for not having thought of it. There's just no reason to endanger your fingers